This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Helene Woods, and this is Let's Quilt, episode number 19. We're going to start off today making some napkins, and I've taken two of the fabrics that we've had on our placemats, and we're going to sew those right sides together. And I've made these in 16-inch squares, so I think that's a good size for dinner or lunch. I'm going to start, and we're going to cut our squares, and I have this one here lined up, and I'm going to cut it at 16 inches square. There we go. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my poinsettias and do the same, and then I'll show you how we'll put them together. I have my fabrics together here, and as you can see, I've got it so that we've got right sides together. We're going to pin this all the way around, and then I'd like for you to leave about a 4-inch opening so that when we turn them, you can get your hand inside, and so we can get nice points on the corners. All right, I'm all set up here now to stitch, and I've crossed some pins just like I showed you before so that you can remember to stop and leave the 4 inches spaces in between. Okay, I'm going to start stitching, and I suggest that you maybe do a back stitch here at the beginning. That way that you can, when you put your hand in, you don't rip out some of your stitches. I'll take this back. Then I'm going to go ahead and stitch all the way around, just like we have before. All right, I've turned my last corner down here. I'm coming up to where my 2 cross pins are. We'll get to that spot, leaving about 4 inches open, and then I'm going to back stitch again there. There. All right, I have my napkins all sewn together right sides. The first thing I'm going to do before we turn them is to take our scissors and just cut off the little corners all the way around so that we turn them, we don't have a bunch of fabric in there. I have all the little tips cut off now, and I'm going to start turning my napkin to the outside so you can see how it looks. Just keep nudging this along. There. And sometimes I take my scissors and I slip them inside that little 4-inch space that we had and just run it along the seam that you have just sewn, and that way you can get it to the corners and push out those little tips. We'll do this all the way around, and then we're going to press. If you have a little bit of a problem like I am getting the tips out here, I just take one of my pins and I just stick it in there and pull on that a little bit. And as you can see, then the fabric just pops out. If the scissors don't do it all for you, that's a good way to get the little tips out. Now we're going to press, and don't forget that you've got this little area, this little 4-inch space here that you're going to have to remember to turn that in and try to get those as even as you can, just so it goes along with the rest of that seam. So we're going to press. And in this case, it's okay to glide the iron because we're not going to be quilting this. Now now we've got our napkins all turned. We're going to top stitch them. And let me suggest, first of all, you look at your colors to see what you want to do. Now, I had used the green on the bottom, and I had used the red on the top. You can do whatever you want. We're going to first stitch 1/4 of an inch on the outside all the way around. Get that done. And then I'm going to measure this, and I've come in about an inch. And then I have sewn again all the way around and pivot just like we normally do in the corners, and that way it holds the fabrics together in 2 places so that when you put them in the washing machine, they'll be fine. Well, here we have our placemats finished, and I like for you to look at this and then also show the other side to you, and it could be reversible. And we have our napkins all completed, and they also are reversible. So I think that you'll be very happy the way these turned out, and let me show you how they would look for your holiday table. Here's our holiday table. We have it all set for a nice holiday party. Here we all have the table set with our lovely placemats and our napkins. And I'd like to stress to you again, as we did in our other shows, if these get soiled while you're having your party, I would wash them with the quilt soap and use the directions that they have on its bottle. And then I would suggest with these, because they are a little thicker, I would just let them air dry. Just lay them on a flat surface, and while they're still wet, just kind of spread them out, and they should be perfectly fine for your next party. I'd like to take a moment to thank Jean Dunn Designs very much for allowing us to use her beautiful placemat design. The name of the design that you can purchase in your quilt store is called Table Graces. And thank you again, Jean. On our next episode, I'm going to show you some quilts that I have made through the years, and also I'm going to show you some that friends of mine have made quilts and designed them. So until next time, happy holidays.